Okay, quote, this is from TMZ. The docs, documents attained by TMZ include email correspondence between Giuffre, it's the woman who accused me, and UK journalist Sharon Churcher from May 2001. Sharon Churcher was writing for a British tabloid, and she was became friendly with Giuffre and was giving her advice. And so the TMZ continues. Giuffre, in her email, is telling Churcher she found a ghostwriter to pen her story about being victimized by Epstein. And Giuffre, surprisingly, doesn't seem to remember who she has claimed to have had sex with, and so Giuffre writes to Churcher and says, "I wanted to put the names of those assholes. Whoops, I meant to say pedos that J.E. Jeffrey Epstein sent to me. In other words, you tell me who I had sex with." And Churcher responds, and this is the smoking gun part. Churcher responds, "Don't forget Alan Dershowitz, J.E.'s buddy and lawyer. Good name for you a pitch, as he represented Klaus von Bülow, and a movie was made about that case." Now, in the email, Churcher acknowledged that there was absolutely no proof or evidence that I did anything wrong, but she claims that she tells Virginia Giuffre, "You may have met him when he was hanging out with Epstein." The fact is, I never met her, never saw her. She never saw me. We were never in the same city at the same time. I have proved that by my travel records, but it doesn't matter. The email says, "You may have met him, so include him in the book." And then TMZ continues by reporting the following. Ghislaine Maxwell's lawyers, who were provided these emails were given to them in discovery, quote, allege that Giuffre only added Dershowitz to her manuscript after that exchange with Churcher. But even then, and this is TMZ, not me speaking, but even then, Giuffre did not allege she had ever had sex with him until many years later, when she got her lawyers, and she got contingency fee lawyers who obviously were seeking to capitalize and make money, and they did make money off these accusations. Okay, so following this smoking gun email, in fact, Giuffre did include me in her book. Remember, Churcher says, include him in the book. It'll help you sell the book. Include him in the manuscript. So she mentions me in the book, but as someone she did not have sex with. She mentions me as somebody she once saw when she was with Epstein, but not that somebody that she had sex with. The only time she says, falsely, of course, that she had sex with me is years later when she meets her contingency fee lawyers. And as the result of meeting her contingency fee lawyers, they put my name in an accusation that's filed with the court, apparently confusing me with someone else who she had seen with Epstein. Now, the lawyers could easily have called me and said, look, Mr. Dershowitz, this client of mine has said that you had sex with her. Can you disprove it? And I would have been able to. Of course, I had all my travel and American Express and everything, and I couldn't have been in any of the places she said she had sex with me. But without giving me an opportunity to disprove the false accusations by my travel and other records, the lawyers filed a public document accusing me. The federal judge presiding over the case was outraged, and he sanctioned the lawyers for including my name in the petition. And he struck any reference to me, saying you cannot make that. You cannot make that accusation, and you have to strike it. And my name was struck from all the court documents. But the damage had already been done, because once they had put my name in it as the result of this frame-up, my name traveled all over the world, along with Prince Andrew. Professor Dershowitz and Prince Andrew accused. Of course, in Prince Andrew's case, there was some evidence. There was a photograph. In my case, not only was there no evidence, but there was clear evidence that I could not have ever met her or been with her. But that didn't matter, because guilt by accusation. If you're accused, then you're guilty. And that's what happened in this case. And so, although it was struck by the judge, and although the judge sanctioned the lawyers for putting my name in their pleadings, and I was never notified or given an opportunity, nonetheless, the harm was done. And it's caused me enormous harm for many, many years. This all happened at the very last day of 2014. That's almost 10 years ago. And, but, to her credit, and I have to give her a lot of credit, my accuser has now come forward and said she may have misidentified me, and she has dropped every single legal claim against me. This is what she said. These are her exact words on November 7th, 2022, and they're completely consistent with the smoking gun emails of years earlier, almost a decade earlier. I was very young at the time. This is her speaking. I was very young at the time. It was very stressful and traumatic environment. And Mr. Dershowitz has from the beginning consistently denied these allegations. Here's the key smoking gun in this paragraph. This is her. I now recognize I may have made a mistake in identifying Mr. Dershowitz. We believe it is time to bring it to an end and move on with our lives. That's her statement. But nonetheless, the media constantly says she accused me, but they don't mention that she did what she did, that she said what she said, that she may have mistaken me for somebody else, that this may have been a case of mistaken identification. To add corroboration to that, Churcher, the one who put my name in her head, who said, mentioned Dershowitz, he's good for your pitch. He was famous. He represented Von Bülow. A movie was made about him. She now has said in a recorded conversation that she knows that I was wrongly accused and I am completely innocent. So there's nothing left to the case. And by the way, there's more that hasn't been uncovered. There is an FBI report that I have, but it's redacted. And I can't obviously reveal the redaction. I want that to be unredacted. There is a tape recording which conclusively proves that I was not involved in this, but that hasn't been unsealed yet. There are emails that just did get unsealed from another woman who had falsely accused Hillary Clinton of being a pedophile. I mean, she accused Hillary. She said she had sex tapes of Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump together with young boys and girls and Richard Branson and a bunch of other famous people. And then she eventually admitted in an interview with the New Yorker, she made the whole story up. The whole story up.